one for where back here for one for where tabata. Ogbogbo ira loku bamba ndo be so bamba. Ifa formula fan lo so tu fe makaija. Begungun ba ngini bi o dákẹ́ eyan me ni náà ni. Boro ba nke bi o dákẹ́ eyan me ni náà ni. Witchcraft is basically the tenet of the judicial formation of Mother Earth.
I don't think I have heard stories of people who have used traditional powers for anything good.
I cannot count the number of people if I have helped with my knowledge to become better in their life, even including your pastors.
Hello, Pulse Hot Takers. Yes, all of you who watch this show, I'm giving you guys a name. You guys are Pulse Hot Takers. How you all doing? Yeah. So you guys know my name, Nancy Chukudebe. I have over there the beautiful Sarah, and over there is D1,
aka D1.
Because it feels like I was going to say D1. But I come in peace, I come in love, I come in light. You understand? Because today we are having a conversation with someone who Nigerians over time have pictured what they do in their head. So today we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, come and talk what you do and how you do it. So that it's not be said that we did not give you people platform to speak what you need to speak. Okay. So today in the building, how do I introduce him? As, should I say this or should I say that?
She's scared.
I'm not. Do you want to stop? Because
she's careful.
If I say one, his title, they might not know. So I want to know if I should introduce him with the title that Nigerians will know him as.
Of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have Babalawo Olakunle in the building. How you doing?
It's nice to be here, everybody. My name is Babalawo Olawole Olakunle.
Exactly. Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, as you can see.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So let's just go into it, because I know these passport takers are going to ask. So, sir, you are actually a Babalawo.
Yeah, I'm a practicing priest.
You do incantation.
Those are normal things.
You used to bring down all the bringables. The Abito Shaker used to bring
sacrifices and all that.
Those are your Nollywood version of things. Anyways.
Now that you have entered the Nollywood, disclaimer, what are the things that Nollywood, I said Lollywood.
Wait. Nancy, you didn't mention that he converted from being a Christian. Sorry.
We're on a journey.
Okay, sorry. No verse. Because that one, the one that say a born again, well, no problem.
So what are the things that Nollywood have portrayed that you Babalawos are good at that is false?
Well, first and foremost, there are different sects to our indigenous spirituality. There are the Babalawos who serve as the priests. There are the Onishegos who serve as the physicians. Okay. There are the Olorishas who serve as people who serve as intermediaries between us and the Orisha systems. There are the Dawonshes, people who do petty medicines of their own free will and accord and in their own space. We call them their Dawonshes. So our indigenous spiritual space is wide, is broad. A Babalawo is father of mysteries. Baba signifying father. So someone who has gone through different stages of training from the understanding the different nitty-gritties of the craft or the art rather. So a Babalawo is somebody who is a diviner who helps you tap into the divine to get answers that is not naturally within your own space. So as a Babalawo is more or less like a doctor who does diagnosis of the problems you have and provides solutions based on the insight he had from the divination material.
So this divination you're referring
as against
to
Nollywood that we were saying the other time, we do not, first of all, the Babalawo is not a dirty person. As you can see, I'm a rich person. I'm a clean person. I'm an educated person. And the outlook that Nollywood has given to Babalawo in general is not directly related to who a Babalawo really is. So beyond being a father of mystery, Babalawo is a philosopher, he's a philanthropist, he's a father, he's a good husband, and whatever you want to call it in society, somebody who helps society to become better. So you cannot ascribe such level of negativity to that person. That's one. Two is that a Babalawo is not somebody who is dirty to only live in banana plantations.
Evil forest.
So we don't live in evil forest. If you come to my house, you'll be wild. So we don't live in evil forest. We don't live under banana plantations. We don't use. It's not until we see red cloth that we.
But you have red cloth.
That way, as you can see, I'm putting on white.
Okay.
So we don't. That's one. Two is that Babalawos do not just act on impulse. In Nollywood, people come to Babalawo and say, this person has offended me, kill. This one has offended me,
I like
die.
that you went there.
So a
I was thinking
Babalawo
that.
does diagnosis to know what has happened, what is happening, and what's about to happen. Those are the three pillars of divination. What has happened, what has transpired behind, what is happening now, and what would happen. So it is in bringing all those things together, these different points together, that the Babalawo now deduce that, okay, from these deductions, these are my own.
So wait, sorry to cut you, sir. So if somebody does me wrong now, for example, maybe takes my land,
Or breaks your
right?
heart.
Or in fact, let me know if it's take my land. Somebody breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And I come and meet you and say, Baba, this man promised me marriage, or this man married me after 2 years. They say no do again.
Yeah.
So you can, and I say, Baba, I want you to make him run mad.
Well,
Can you do that for me?
people like you? I've had quite a number of experiences.
Not
that-
for people like me.
Yeah, you have-
Example.
I've had quite a number of experiences, and I tell people, you see, there is a saying that Ori Tubama Gbenilumangbela Uri Kuni.
English, sir,
That is,
please.
your head, who is willing to assist you, would help you first to take you to a good priest who would direct you in the path that you are supposed to walk. So a priest is to direct you, is to help you to know in order to walk your own path, the journey of your life that you have come to walk. So I tell people that, see, there are reasons why a guy will say he's not interested in you. Number one, it could be primarily, in most cases, usually your Ori. And if your
Ori is
Ori,
head.
Ori is what you call your chi, your head, your
Okay.
spiritual being. Your Ori is present as at the point in time when you are being created. Your Ori has the footprint of your life's journey. If your Ori knows that the direction you are going with this young man is going to alter the course of the journey of your own destiny, your Ori will do everything possible to scatter that relationship. That's one. Number two is, in most cases, we pick luxury over, we pick want over need. In most of my marital divinations, marriage is supposed to be you coming to help me as helpmate, the way the Bible said it. So marriage is supposed to be, I'm supposed to augment that part that is not complete in my own life, and same thing as yours. So if I'm marrying somebody, if my want might actually be negating my need. I might need someone who, for someone like me, I'm a traveler, I go out all the time. For a wife, I need somebody who is homely, who is willing to take care of my children. Unfortunately, if I want to come to Lekki and marry Lekki,
Sarah.
I know the Lekki babe.
Stop.
There's a very big
No, it's not
possibility.
Lekki babe that he's
There's-
paused. It was what he said
there's
initially.
a very big
Calm
possibility
down.
that my want is automatically negating that need. So when people like that come to me, what I do first is to do a divination. What could be wrong? Why would a man in his right senses see a beautiful lady like you and say,
Why are we using me? Oh,
Now you ask question now. Anybody dating this girl, be careful.
I don't get number where I go call.
and
Be
say
careful.
he's no longer interested? Somebody, to look at the dynamics of life. How can you be utterly interested and at the point you are just utterly disinterested? There is a dynamic, there's a shift in dynamic. What is happening? That is what we go to IFA. IFA basically is a knowledge system. It's a query system that you go to query, just like our computer systems. You go to query for information and
It's
say,
like the ChatGPT of fetish.
well, the ChatGPT is mirroring the outdated version of IFA's system.
So
now,
IFA is more updated than ChatGPT.
IFA is a continuous model. So it continues with, because IFA compounds all of the data of nature on a daily basis. So that is why it is a storage system that is limitless in its information. As you go to research, you want to make a findings. Ifa gives you, refer you back to such occurrence that has happened in the past. And say that, okay, look at these occurrences that has happened in the past. It happened to Olugbon like this. It happened to Aresa like this. And when it happened to Olugbon like this was what Olugbon did that he was able to scale through. And this was what Olugbon did that he was not able to scale through. So you are, from your own right senses, it is now a right priest, a priest in his own right senses that now say, okay, if Olugbon did this and he was unable to scale through, you should not do this. You should not go in the path that Olugbon has gone through. If Aresa did this and he was able to scale through, why not follow? Because this is the law of nature. That energy is not created or destroyed. Is continually converted. Yes, so that energy that Aresa used in ensuring that he succeeds at that point in time, nature has documented it. And you can query that storage facility through IFA to say, what has nature stored? This occurrence that's happening to me, what has nature stored about it? What data does Mother Earth has about this information? If I gives you and say explains to you, so what a Babalawo now who understands the communication model of Ifa now explains to you how Ifa has given you to that. So Ifa tells you what is wrong, maybe it is your own character. Maybe it is your holy, maybe it is your heavenly mate, maybe it is there are different.
So what if you now check and now see that it's just that person, not just wicked person, they just won't break my heart.
Wickedness in this regard is an hand to a means, not the means in itself. In the sense that a guy cannot just wake up in the morning and decide to be utterly wicked to you. That is, the law of motion says that no action, a body will not move from point A to point B except started by an external force. So in this case, it could be internal force, it could be external force, it could be your own force too. So what force is pushing this person to act that way? That is what Ifa wants to deduce for you. And Ifa now advises you accordingly. Say, okay, this one has no intention for you. Run. That is why I advise young girls, before going to date anybody, do divination. Inquire. Get to know, how is this journey going to look like? Is it just for us to enjoy ourselves? There are some times that if I say this relationship, just enjoy, it's just to have sex, nothing more, nothing less.
If I would say that one.
Yes, because if I is not concerned about your emotions, it's a quality system. It's
so
just like
sex is not like a sin in Ifa religion.
Don't we have sex? Don't we all have sex? As a priest, don't we have sex?
When you're not married, that's what I mean.
If I encourage fornication.
Now the point,
adultery.
No, the point is this. When you say that you want to, go into a relationship with somebody, and the one thing you should know that is that you are mature and of age to have sex and to go into a relationship. Now, except we want to lie to ourselves, if I don't lie to us, we cannot be hypocritical in saying that, I am not doing sex before marriage, and we are going behind the scene to have that sex. If I knows that, so if I is giving you that truth on a blatant plate without emotion, this one has no value to give you in the future. This one has health issues that is generational. This one has this one has that, this one has this, and over time, in most of the marital divinations that I've done, a lot of people have been so engrossly into themselves that when Ifa says, this marriage, this is going to be the outcome. This. Some people end up crying, some people end up, but it's just your unfiltered truth. You have come to seek truth about the path that you want to choose. So my advice is go for divinations, inquire before you jump into any relationship. Thank you.
So does this mean now, according to this IFA system, that the concept of soulmates exists? Because so soulmates exist.
People
were made for people.
People were made for people, and whether we like it or not, there is a way that would, that as it is above, so it is below. So that is as it is on this earth. The same way, according to the first spiritual system, we believe.
The Bible.
We believe, according to the first spiritual system, we believe that what is happening on this face of the earth, there's a replica in heaven. So it means that people live to in heaven. So let's assume that heaven is your dream state. The moment you close your eyes, you're no longer part of this world. You're in another plane. Let's assume that. I'm not saying that for a fact, but let's assume that.
We actually know for a fact.
Well, let's assume that. In the dream state, people get married, people do a lot of things, people travel, people board the plane and all whatnot. How come? How is it happening? So it shows that people can have soulmates. And different IFA divinations have pointed the fact that people have had wives in heaven. There's a particular IFA divination that talks about a woman who said she was not going to give birth if she comes to this world. That is the level of affinity she had with her soulmate in heaven. So this is what I'm going to. I'm not going to give birth. Are you sure you're not going to give birth? I say yes. You know, share Uturukmo. Are you
What
sure you're
does
not
that
going to? Or share Uturukmo. That's the old that the verses I want to remember. Says I'm not going to give birth. Okay. If you know you're not going to give birth, can you not drop your reproductive organ here and go to this heart, to the heart, and say no problem. He dropped the reproductive organ and came to the heart. The mother had, he was having sex, but physically there was the reproductive organ, but spiritually there was no reproductive organ. So people were just having sex with the lady, and
She could not get
she could
pregnant.
not get
And she didn't know in reality.
because now that you are in this part of the world, we no longer seek to know how our life has been. We are a continuum. I am continuing somebody's journey. It's not as if somebody we are created out of nowhere. No.
How do you mean?
So are you
How do
trying
you
to
mean?
say, are you referring to what the English people call reincarnation?
Well, it exists, and whether we like it or not, there are some of us who have come to this life 4 times, 3 times, 2 times. Yeah. And there are some of us who have come, and that is why and this is not just peculiar to Ifa now, it's peculiar to the African continent. We do what is called Imori. I don't know what language it's called in your place. When they give birth to a child, our fathers were so advanced in sciences that they want to understand who is in our genealogy, who is coming back, who has come back.
I think that's what we call, is it Ogbanji?
In your own
Ogbanje.
language.
So you have to.
So in
mark
Yoruba
the
language,
child.
we call it Imori. We want to know because we know already that this new child that has been added to this family is a continuation of somebody's journey in our generation. So who is the person? Where did the person's journey stopped? What were the challenges the person faced in his life? What were the spiritual problems the person faced? And once we know that, we are able to, from childbirth, find solace and tackle the challenges that person faced. For instance, in my own memory, I discovered that I was my great-great-grandfather who was a priest and who healed madmen.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Mad
Mad
men.
people.
Okay.
I discovered that
His great grandfather, who he reincarnated as, that's what the man
Yeah.
used to do.
Giwa Shati. And
No, he's
lo and behold, I noticed in my journey as a priest that twice, not like I had specialty in treating mad people, but twice I have knowingly or unknowingly treated 2 mad people.
and they got well.
And they got well. And I was surprised. Now, the great grandfather that I was talking about got married to a mad lady that they brought to her to say, okay, if you can just heal this person, we'll dash you. And that was how the man gave birth to his last child. So the innate ability that was already peculiar to his own gene still reflects in my life. That is to show you that if somebody says that your gene, your clinical chromosome, clinical S chromosome, Y chromosome, it is from which tree? There's a tree that is coming from, that your genealogy is coming from. They trace the genealogy of Jesus Christ to David.
Yeah.
So it shows that the gene of David still resides in Jesus, if truly that is his bloodline. So if they could have looked further, maybe they kept that part of their research, they were able to say that this is the person who Jesus reincarnated as. The same thing as us as a people, as a community. We know it is the knowledge of these things that helps us as Africans to know what future we have ahead of us. It is all these things that we have unknowingly removed or caused ourselves from because we felt that they were fetish. We felt that they were demonic. We felt that how demonic is it going to be for me to know where I'm coming from and where I'm supposed to go to? Is that a demonic act? To seek that knowledge. I want you to answer, is that demonic?
So
It depends
knowing
on
where
what
you're
lens you're
going,
looking at,
like
though.
knowing where you're going to, fulfilling your purpose is not demonic. But then again, it is where you are going to seek this knowledge from.
That is demonic.
But I'm going to link it to you now, right? What was your religious background first? And how did you go and seek to know your past, your present, and your future?
Oshe.
Because we got that.
Well, I was born into a deeper life family, and
Deeper life.
my mother and father still, they're still Christians. Although I've tried everything within my possible best
To
to
convert
ensure
them.
that they.
The
But my mother keeps telling me that, well, I don't have a problem with you any longer. But then I have spent so many years in Christianity that at what point at this my age, what am I looking for up and down?
So you wanted her to backslide.
It's not about backsliding. What is backsliding? Backsliding is going back to old things. Now we are Africans. This is our thing. So it is like saying it is the Christians who have already backslided because they are the one who have left our indigenous part to face another part. So there's nothing like backsliding there. Now back to the question that you were asking. Well, I think that my own transition into priesthood is something not short of a miracle, because it was not as if I had a problem that warranted I go and study. It's not so as if somebody came to preach to me that you must study. And funny thing is that I didn't even get to know some of my family members, in fact, a lot of my family members, till about 4 or 5 years ago. So we were taken out of our household because of this deeper life thing. So everybody in the village is a witch. We never had the access to the family, so to say. However, growing up, we had some challenges along the line. We had to relocate to Songwater. And that was my first encounter with a priest. I think that was in the year 2001, 2000 or so to say. And there is a Babalawo in our area. The Mount Zion, I'm still looking for my Bamlo. If I see him one-on-one, we have got to settle.
Me too. I have got to settle with him. It's fine.
So if he's listening to this podcast, I want him to know. Let him book a place. Let me and him meet. I have questions to ask him.
Mike Bamilo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those
All
are
the Mount Zion videos.
The time that
Me, self, I guess you.
the time that Deeper Life eventually now allowed us to start watching TV. They tried to censor us. So it was just Mount Zion and the film that you want to watch. Oh, Luba, Lagba, all those kind of movies. Those are the kind of movies that we watched then. And it did a lot of damage to our thinking faculty.
That's Mike Bamlo.
Yeah. So because he portrayed our indigenous spirituality as evil, demonic, and cruel. But going to Songo gave me a first-hand experience with living with the priest.
You lived with him
in the community, so to say.
Okay.
So now this is the beautiful thing, is that the whole community knew the children of the priest to be truthful children. The whole community knew that these children will never tell lies. If they tell you that this is Ifangbo,
like Ifa is listening.
yeah, I swear on Ifa, I'm telling you the truth. I don't know how they were able to build that level of trust. That people had that trust in them that if these people say, this is it, they won't lie. So that's number one thing that triggered me. That's in all of our own level of holiness, we lie at every opportunity. And the people who call demonic and devilish, they tell the truth and we agree to it. That's one. Secondly is that we've been living with these people. They are not troublesome. They are not wicked. They've not done any harm to us. In fact, they even share food to us. They do what is called feasting almost all the time. And in African spirituality, feasting is like the conclusive part of every ritual that we do. So they do that feasting a lot. They bring food to people. They share meat, fresh meat, foods and all whatnot to people at all times. As young children, we were interested in their food. My mother would tell us to throw it away.
Like, how old were you then?
Well, when I moved to Songo, I was in my GSS 2.
Okay.
So your early teens, right?
Yeah, I was in GSS 2. And that was where I started, getting interested. What is this thing? We started moving close. As children, we were able to, relate with the children of the Babalawos. And there was nothing so big as against what the media has been portraying, because we now had first-hand relationship with these people. And then when I moved to Alakuko for schooling, then another thing is that there's another Babalawo temple beside my school.
Now real miracle.
There and then I started going to the temple. And I realized that I found solace being in the temple. But if I'm in the temple, I don't even remember I have a problem. I don't remember there's any. That is the only place in this world that I feel at peace with anything.
Babalawo temple.
Yeah. So there and then I started, interacting, and out of curiosity I started learning. So it was not as if somebody placed the gun on my head and said, you must go and study far. It was not until many years after that I discovered that this was my calling. So it was like my destiny intentionally, my Ori intentionally shaping my movement towards those important places for me to be able to align with my destiny. And when my mother eventually discovered I was studying IFA in my SS, I think SS1 or SS2, then, and that was when all hell broke loose. At that point, the family disowned me. My mother said she's not my mother again, blah, 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 blah. Started doing prayer sessions to cast out the Antichrist in my life. Like, Mama, I'm not the Antichrist. They did everything possible to dissuade me from studying IFA. Everything humanly possible. It got to that point that I could not even give my younger ones. I was the firstborn of a family of 7 boys. So they could not give anybody in the family. I can't give my younger brother the ordinary sweets. I was already tagged as if I want to use him. The way the stigma, it was not until recently that stigma moved out of my life. The way they stigmatized my studying IFA. But then I was resolute in my decision. At some point, I just stopped going to church when finally, I'm not even interested in going to church again. And I took my time in fully studying IFA. And here I am today, and it was the
Are there
best.
any of us other siblings of yours who you've converted into?
All of my
IFA?
younger brothers have been initiated into IFA.
All?
Yes, except one who is a pastor. He's still in deeper life.
Wait.
Wow.
You said you studied IFA.
Yeah.
But you now mentioned that you initiated your brothers into IFA.
Yeah.
So
So
can
how
you...
does
There are two different things in initiating into IFA. What I meant by initiating into IFA is like doing itefa, going to Bodu. Itefa is like a process where you go to understand what your Ori has in stock for you. So it's a spiritual process that we do as IFA practitioners, where people get to know what destiny do I have, what have I come to do in life.
What does it entail?
Yeah, it's a rigorous spiritual process.
Rigorous?
Yeah, it's so to say. And it does not involve killing human beings and all whatnot. So I know that's where you are looking at.
No, not even that one. Because I know that in as a Christian, you just ask God for direction and He tells you.
How does God tell you? If you
He
ask-
speaks.
His spirit
he speaks,
is inside of you.
well, when He speaks to you, in what language does He come?
No.
The spirit that
God,
you understand, because the spirit is inside of you.
Yeah.
God speaks for Christians, right? He speaks through.
Are you not a Christian?
I mean, for the purpose of the podcast, we're trying to be, neutral.
Religious.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Because
God.
as a Christian self, I'm not supposed to sit down near this thing.
That's not true. That's not true. Absolutely not. That's not true.
Well,
As a Christian, you can sit anywhere. That's not
That's
true.
why you are there. I'm here.
If we can swap. Didn't I shake you when we came?
you didn't shake me.
I shaked you.
You went on your own.
Oh, yeah,
I was
shake him
just
now,
looking at
shake him
everybody.
now.
When you sat down,
Oh, yeah,
I
shake
came
me
to
now,
meet.
shake
I
me
will
now.
shake you. I will shake you,
me
sir.
now, shake me now.
I will shake you.
She had it with her second
I
hand.
will shake you.
There's nothing involved. I'm just joking with you. Now,
Yeah.
you were saying something.
Yeah, I was saying that as a Christian, God can speak to you through His word, through inner witness. That's what she was trying to say. That
No, so what I was trying to say with the Tefa thing is that I have a YouTube video on the Tefa that I did a concise explanation of what the Tefa is. But then for the sake of this podcast, Itefa is a journey where you go through a initiation rite to help you know what Ori you have.
does it have to do with all those things that it marks?
No.
Okay.
We believe that it is not a life without direction. It's not a life worth living. So what we do is that Oromila, our sacred prophet, has already designed a template where you can spiritual processes where you have to go through. That having completed those spiritual processes, you'll be able to have for yourself a map of your life, what you have come to do in life, what are your taboos, the journeys you are going to walk in life, at each junction of the journey, what are you going to encounter? What are you going to do when you encounter negativities in the line of this journey? What are your, Itefa gives you detailed analysis of how your life is supposed to turn out to be. And I want to believe that if you have a map of your life, that life is a life worth living. It's a life worth fulfillment. You know, a lot of us are just living a life that is not ours because we don't even know what it looks like to live our own life. We don't even know what our life looks like. For me, I know what my life looks like, and that is why I'm on this podcast. I'm educating young people about African spirituality. You know, that is basically what I've come to do. And I know my taboos. I know the type of woman I can marry. I know the type of woman I can marry. I know the type of food I can eat, what I cannot eat, what I can wear, where I can go, where I can speak, who I can have in my corner as a friend. All of these details of my life, I know. So you do not expect that I take or I make uninformed decision about my life at every junction of my life. So I want to believe that it is those who life is too precious to live it on the basis of trial and error.
Yeah.
So we don't do trial and error in African spirituality. We believe that each and every one of us has a roadmap to life. What is that roadmap? That is what you have gone to do in Igbodu. So Igbodu is the place where the fire initiation is conducted. It is called Igbo Olodumare, Igbo Odu. You get where
That's forest of
God's forest, where you go to seek from God the information about your life that you have come to.
So this God now you're referring to, is it? I want to know, is there like a relationship between the God who created the universe, the heavens and the earth? Does that apply in the
Alpha and
Ifa?
Omega.
Yeah, does that apply in the Ifa religion?
Call God whichever name you want to call God. You can call God Allah. You can call God. Now, the names we call God are names that are peculiar to our community, to our race, to our color, to our environment. Whichever way we call God, God will listen to us and God will answer. He is the great grand architect of the universe.
So Ifa believes that there's somebody who created
that
the
is,
heaven and
we
the earth.
believe that we call our own God Ifa.
Oh, Ifa is the God.
No. The model, the pattern of interaction between God and we
Is Ifa.
is Ifa. The means of interaction, how we interact with God, is encompassed in what we call Ifa.
Right.
Are you with me? So we have Olodumare. Olodu is Yoruba word for God. Olodumare. Now, interaction with Olodumare is God, is what is embodied in Ifa.
Wow.
I hope you understand my point.
I'm trying to. So let's
use it in our own way. You understand?
Okay.
Who
Prayer.
the Holy Spirit is in
Ifa.
us is the Ifa.
Oh, I
To
get
get
it
it
now.
Well,
Yes.
I will have to look closely into that. I don't know.
Don't worry.
I don't know.
Understanding what you say, but Ifa is the way you communicate with Olodumare.
Yeah, fair.
So
I wanted
You
to
get
ask
it.
you, this is not part of the question I wanted to ask, but like when you are in a church and they are praying, you know, you feel uncomfortable.
ask him if he has gone to church. What was the last time you stepped your feet inside church?
I think.
Uh-huh.
Well, I went to a couple of churches. I went to last year. There was a man who used to accommodate me while I was really, really very broke.
Oh, okay.
So he's a pastor. And then I had no place to go. I lost my job at 40 Oil. And, you know, he accommodated me. But I told him on the day
Who
he
you are.
was accommodating me that I said, Baba, me I be Ifa practitioner. No be say one Sunday you reach now, you tell me, so yeah, they go church. I know they do that one. He said, no, but I lived with him for 2 years.
Wow.
That is the most tolerable human being I know in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And as of last week, I was still at his child graduation ceremony. You know, we still keep that bond. The family was so good to me, and he accommodated me. So on his 50th birthday, it was in his church. I went there. I have pictures and videos of it. I went there, and they said that I must come and talk. I stood on the podium and I delivered my speech for the man.
You didn't feel uncomfortable.
Why will I feel uncomfortable?
Fired, no.
Why will I feel uncomfortable?
It's the Nollywood thing we're talking about.
That is the stereotype that we are talking about.
So
No,
what
but
then?
maybe they did not really cast.
God,
What are they
Jiwo.
casting?
So what then is the difference between Ifa and evil? Like, does evil exist in Ifa?
Yeah.
So what is evil in
Yeah.
Ifa?
Now, life is in binaries. Life is in twos. Life is hinged on the principle of polarity. If there is good, there must be evil. If there's white, there must be black. If there's yellow, there must be black. If there's tall, there must be short. And it is on that principle that Ifa says, Eji ni mo gbe, mi ò gbé ẹnìkan ṣoṣo dúró. which translates that I support the peers, I don't support one. It's an allegorical statement that says to mean that life itself is balanced on the duality of life. If you are all about positivity, God is not interested. If you are all about negativity, God is not interested. There has to be a balance.
You have to balance it. Small
It
good,
is in
small.
that balance that you meet with God. Because it is God also that is the creator of the evil. It is God. If you believe that God is the creator of the whole universe, whole means that both the good, the bad, the ugly inside it. They are all creations of God.
This man go convert us.
There has to be a level of balance between positive and negative. Now, when you say that, is there good or bad in Ifa? Good or bad is relative to what we do. We are the good or bad. Ifa says Inugbe Yonu. Ifa says, I hope you don't mind me reciting Ifa.
Yeah, as long as it won't be.
Ifa says,
As long as it won't be what?
Like it won't affect us.
Erinku
Do you please get out?
Erinku wọn fi wẹ ẹgbẹ́ kí ẹfọn kún wọn fọwọ́ ẹ̀ dábàtà ọgbọgbọ ìrà ló kú bàǹbà ní tọ́sí gbé ń sọ̀rọ̀ bàǹbà dífá fọ́ọ̀mù là fa ń lọ sótù fẹ̀màkàyé já gbégúngún bá ń gbin bí ò dákẹ́ ẹ̀yàn ọmọ ènìyàn yín náà ni bóró bá ń ké bí ò dákẹ́ ẹ̀yàn ọmọ ènìyàn yín náà ni ẹ ṣáà kó ìtanra yín jẹ òkú tó tún kù yẹn ò lé wálé ayé mọ́ ẹ ṣáà kó ìtanra yín jẹ. I will interpret it so that
Exactly in English.
I can now bound and cast him too.
I'm not gonna lie, in my mind I was like blood of Jesus.
Now, I told you earlier. I said that we look at all these things because we don't understand them. All the things I've said, they are just literary verses of a farm, literature that read to you, literatures that hold deep meanings. It is in the interpretation of those things that will, decipher what could be wrong or where the problem could be. If I say that when the elephant, big earring, when it dies, they use the horn, the musk, they use it to make plastic. F1, the buffalo, when the buffalo dies, they use the skin to make good shoe. Obobera, Okubamba, not being sort of bamba. It is where people are gathered to talk and eat and they throw food on the floor. That's why you see plenty ants.
Okay.
They were the one who cast the fire for Onumila when he says he wants to overcome all his battles in life. Although the told him that if you want to overcome all your battles in life, it's humans now. If Diego is saying, now human being. If Odo is saying, whoa, now human being. That is the harbinger of both good and evil is humans. We are the ones. We are the
I agree
ones
on that.
playing both hands of better good. Or, it's not Ifa that is evil. Ifa is just telling you what it is. So it is maybe odake èèyàn ló wà ndíẹ̀. Boro nke bí odake èèyàn. If anybody they do you, na human being.
True.
If anybody do good to you, it is human. If anybody does good too, the negative way, it is still human.
So is there like a justice system in Ifa where they say like this person's cup is full? You have done a lot of negatives.
Now, I don't want you to misconstrue a lot of things. The world itself has a justice system. And that is where witchcraft come into it. A lot of people misconstrue witchcraft to me. Wicked witch. Witchcraft is basically the tenet of the judicial formation of Mother Heart. Where every matter as recorded by Mother Heart is being adjudged on a regular basis. So everything you do, you say, you work, your actions, your deeds, your commitment, everything is being recorded by Mother Heart because Mother Heart is consistently present wherever you take those actions, even inside water, it's still there. So Mother Heart records all of this nature information and present it. The witches go there and check what is wrong. They met out judgment based on the existential laws of nature.
Sometimes the judgments are wrong. Like somebody will not do anything, and then somebody out of envy will decide that you'll be barren for 20 years. Or things like that happen.
That is your Nollywood interpretation of witchcraft.
I'm telling you real life situation.
Listen. In that circumstances, we are talking about power here. Power has no polarity. It is the polarity of the containing vessel. The same power, the same electricity that is powering our phones and all whatnot, we can still use it to kill somebody. It is the decision we have taken with that power. We are the containing vessels. It still reverts us back to the fact that we humans are the ones, the major problems. Power has no polarity. It is the same power that I used to come and say, okay, madam, begin to stool. That same power can say, okay, use it to get a good husband. You use it to give birth to good children. It is dependent on the person, not on the power.
I don't think we've heard stories of people. I mean, I'm speaking from a place of ignorance, I do admit, but I'm saying that I don't think I have heard stories of people who have used traditional powers for anything good.
Oh,
They have only, from my own experience.
well, I think that's on our own end. I think that's bad from our own end in the fact that we don't blow our horns enough. I'm a priest, and I cannot count the number of people if I have helped with my knowledge to become better in their lives, in their works, in their marriage, with their children, in all ramifications of life. The fact that I don't come to the podcast to say this, even including your pastors, I've come to my temples, do divination, do this, do that. There are pastors who bring their children, their
Wait, bring their children for what? Let me finish.
Pastors who bring the name of their church member and say, see, please, this church, this guy, they pay tithe where. I won't make it live, they go where. There are things that
has happened.
Because we don't, and I think that I am saying this, and I want the indigenous spiritual community to take note of this. I want us to blow our horns more, because we do not blow our horns more, do not make people devour African spirituality and the impulse it has on the community. We are builders of society. Because imagine people come to the temple every day. I don't have husband. What can I do? Okay, do this. The person does that has husband does not come back to the temple to say I have husband. Or does not go on social media to say, thank God, they gave me a soap. And once I base that soap like that, I just got a good husband. Nobody will come out to say that. Someone say, I don't have a job. Hey, they want to sack me. I want promotion. I have this. I want this. So when people come around, I think the challenge that we do is the fact that we are still hinged on the ancient belief that you are the one. A Babalawo does not need to blow his horns. His good deeds and his good works will speak for him. Unfortunately, we are now in a world where people are hypocritical, where you would work for somebody and somebody will go to the church to give testimony. You know.
Has that happened? Have you had a real life experience of that?
It's not like it happens every day.
Wow.
It is not goats that come to the temple. It is humans that come to the temple to do divination on the various challenges of life. And on those various challenges of life, they get succor and they get recourse to solving those problems. And when they solve those problems, they feel like I paid for the work. So why should I ascribe that thanksgiving to the priest? So they go to church, they organize Thanksgiving, because we are in a society.
Why are you not saying mosque to them? I'm sure they go to
mosque.
Yeah,
they go to mosque too. Their fathers are not. In fact, their fathers are the ones those ones are different on their own. They are the ones that use our means more than even the pastors. Yes, I know of pastors who do jazz more than anything. They like so pass anything. So those things,
pastors.
Yes, those things are because we hinge on our age-old tradition of secrecy. That, well, it's our way. We just have to secret. There are people who have come, they don't have children, they come to the temple, they do rituals for them, they give birth, they get pregnant and give birth to children. The people who don't have job, they come to the temple, pray. We don't curse them now. We pray. It's the same prayer you pray in the church or a mosque or anywhere you want to pray. That's pray. The means that we do those prayers might be different, but we are praying.
But I wanted to ask you that, is it only this IFA now? Is it anybody that can do it, or is peculiar to Yoruba?
No.
And then do you have female
IFA priestess
or Babalawo?
The point is this.
Babalawo.
It's unfortunate that we, in the African continent, we have been so, the colonization is so systemic that it has run deep into not just our education system, but our spiritual system. There is no place in the world you get to, no community in the world you get to, that they do not have a court, an indigenous court. Go to the UK, there is a court there. I've traveled far wide, anyways. Go to
any
Germany,
part of the world, there are courts there.
And I will tell you what formulates that court. There is always, we call it in masonry, there's what we call egregore. There's always an egregore to every race. That is a particular spiritual energy that is indigenous to that community. In your land, you will get one deity where we say Naim, they worship Naim be the primordial inheritance of that land. And when you want to, where do you think we get the type of food we eat, the type of cloth we wear, the pattern of cloth we wear? It is from the indigenous inhabitant of that earth. When the people who migrated to those places, okay, how do they do it for years? They say, okay, okra with the chop for year. How do you think our father discovered okra? How didn't they discover
I thought about those things. I don't know.
It is because of the indigenous energy.
Yeah.
What the energy likes, what the energy hates. There are some communities that they don't cook okra. It says it's a taboo for the community to eat okra. You ask yourself why. It's because the indigenous energy of that land, the taboo is okra. So they will say, so if you go across all the races of life, you will see that each race has their own egregore.
Yeah.
And they make it sacred and they don't fail to worship it. It's unfortunate that it's only in our own race as African people that we say that our own indigenous spiritual system is wrong. We want to import other spiritual system. If you go to any part of the world, be it Christian or what have you, they have, in fact, Christianity in itself, or any form of religion that you want to mention, is a modernized gathering of people who, on the base of a particular egregore that is indigenous to the community that they so come from. So when people come around and say a lot of things, we just look at them. We know. So Ifa is what we call African spiritually peculiar to the Yoruba people.
Right.
The Igbos call it Afa.
The Igbos call it Afa.
We practice the same spirituality across Africa. I've been to Ghana, been to different priest temples across Africa, and I discovered for a fact that our spiritual system is one. In Ghana, Babalawo told me to go and feed Oshosi.
What is that?
And funny enough, I never told Babalawo that Oshosi is one of my deity. Oshosi is a deity it's an hunter. Babalawo told me that it's Oshosi that I'm going to feed. In Ghana, one of the Babalawos in the Ewe tribe of Ghana told me that it's Oshosi. Babalawo gave me divinations that were papa, and in Togo, in Lomé, in different parts of Africa, it is the name because our language differs. So if you call it Ifa here, they call it Fa. They call it Fa in Togo, in Benin. Fa. Yes.
And then you said Igbos, they call it Afa.
It is just language
barrier.
Distort.
You say Igbos call it
Afa.
Afa.
Go to your language.
Okay, but before you
so
get this.
it's an all-encompassing spiritual system for the African people. It's not just Yoruba people.
Okay, so there is this perception why you're here is just to basically debunk some of the things that are considered myths, about the religion.
educate
That's
us.
consider myths. Yeah, I want to tackle you.
You can see that I'm very diplomatic here.
Don't worry, we are taking it to our temple after this.
God, I was gonna say, so there's this mindset that we have, right? That is like, if you need something. I mean, with the church, I'm going to speak for the church because I'm Christian. With the church, when we have needs and whatnot, there's something in the Bible that it says, God giveth and addeth no sorrow. Like if you want something from God, whether it be a child, whether it be marriage, whether it be good health, whatever, like when you go to God and he gives it to you, he adds no sorrow. But the mindset that we have is that when you seek something from God outside of Christ, it comes with another added problem. So I want you to debunk that, because we've seen situations where people come out and testify in church and whatnot and say how their parents were looking for a child and went to a certain priest, they got the child, and then the child was born and was sick all their lives, and they didn't find good health until they gave their life to Christ and whatnot. So I want you to explain on that. Like, is it a thing where you collect and decollect with the left hand?
2000s, in the late 90s, 2000s, there's a lot of media propaganda for Christianity, in terms of, and that's one of the reasons why I said I want to meet with Mike Bamiloye. I have questions for him. I have a page.
It's more than propaganda, because I was born in a spiritual church, and I know somebody that had this particular issue.
Listen, see, spirituality is all encompassing. In the spiritual realm, they don't give a hoot whether you are Jesus or you are Muslim or you are this. You have gotten here. You have gotten to this plane.
The realm.
You have gotten to this realm. and it is in that realm. The model of communication is different from our. We call this what we are saying as secondary language. They communicate in primary language in that spiritual realm. Now, when some people come to the temple and say, "Oh, they were looking for child," like the example that you gave, they were looking for children and all whatnot, and a priest does a divination for you. It's not as if the priest is going to draw that child out of the tree or out of the distance. What the priest would do is to diagnose what is wrong with you. Why have you not given birth? But if I says, this, okay, I did the divination. Now, very good. I did the divination to a man and a woman 2 days ago. They were looking for children. If I says I should tell the guy, they did, I didn't even know they were husband and wife. They did 2 different divinations. The husband did his own divination separately. The wife did his own divination separately. The husband, if I told the husband that he should offer sacrifice because of low sperm count. Now, when we say offer sacrifice, if he stands up from that divination table, goes to the doctor and buys medication for low sperm count, he has offered sacrifice.
And buys medication.
Yeah. He has literally offered sacrifice. Because he has
exchanged
something to get something. That is sacrifice. To give out, to take in. To give and to take. He has given out money.
We sacrifice there our head.
It is I told you that there's media propaganda for all these things. Now, if I told the husband, if I now told the wife that there's a age-long infection in her body. There was a time somebody came to do divination for me. The person has been seriously sick. And I did divination for the person. The person was expecting me to tell them that the money for this 1 million, tell the person, if I say that your problem is to go and deworm.
Really?
And I recited the verse of the father, talked about it. The father talked about it in allegories. It is now the duty of a priest. It is the mighties that fight for kings. It is the restless that cultivate farms, and it is those who are wise to the deepest part of their mind that become priests. So it was out of the fact that I was able to decipher. Okay, if I is saying that there are snakes inside this person's stomach, in contemporary times, what would the snake represent? They are worms. So which means that this sickness that this person is going through is caused by a sexist worm in the body. Young man, go and treat worm. The guy just looked at me and said, what in this man? Baba, he was expecting me to say, oh, kill goat, kill ram, your case not be ram. Not the worm. So that is to show you how explicit if I would be able to explain challenges that we are facing. So if people now come to do divination and they say, okay, if I now tell them, okay, this might be the cause of your inability to give birth. If you do this, if you do that, if you do this, you give birth. And they eventually give birth. And maybe the child now falls sick later on. The normal thing to do is to go back to say, what could be the cause of sickness? If I says, when you give birth to this child, in their family line, they will not tell you this thing. Your pastor don't know all these things. They will not tell you this in church. In your family line, in your family, this thing is a taboo for them to eat okra. Okra alters their gene. People see taboo as one negative thing. It's just normal allergies. This is allergic to this person's bloodline because the moment you have done divination, if I is already treating you based on your DNA.
Spiritual DNA now.
Based on your DNA. If I looks at the DNA of your genealogies, your ancient ones, the past, people who you tapped your DNA from. If I is looking at their own DNA too, and say, oh, this boy, this allergy. Okay, somebody came to do divination sometimes back, also child. And I told the person that if I says that you should stop eating granite, if you stop eating granite, you will give birth.
Really?
The person was like, I should stop eating granite. The person say, as I did follow you talk, there is granite bottle in my car.
So the person likes granite that
I
much.
say, granite. Now, the reason why if I say granite is because if you look at the person's gene closely, granite is allergic to the person's DNA.
How did you get the granite? How did you How do you find?
Ẹ̀pà rómọ́rómọ́ ọlọ́fin dífá fún ọlọ́fin jọ́ ọlọ́kùnrin fún tó mẹ́jọ ẹkùn tó fojú ẹkùn sùn gbére ọmọ ẹbọ ló ń pé wá ṣe. Ọlọ́fin is the king who came to do divination from home like says he wants to give back.
How did you get that particular?
I'm explaining.
No, how did you get?
That's what he's explaining.
That's what I'm explaining.
Listen.
That's what he's explaining.
Ẹ̀pà rómọ́rómọ́ ọlọ́fin.
No, I'm saying how did you get to the ekpa? How did the Ifa tell you ekpa?
Yeah, that's what I'm reciting for you. When I did divination for the person, the Odu that came out has verses that will now begin to point
Tell
out,
you what it
that will look
is.
into. When you look at those verses, you also have determinant to say that, oh, this literature that I've used as an example to explain this instance, I want you to look at it from the positive point of view. That's how we say ire, farire. I want you to look at it from the negative point of view. And if I now begins to classify the hierarchies of positivities, the hierarchies of negativities, the highest hierarchy of positivity is life, and that of negativity is death, and so on and so forth. So when Ifa came down, Ifa says Arun.
What's Arun?
Arun, health challenges.
Okay.
So and Ifa says Ekpa Romo, equates Ekpa and Arun. So it means that Ekpa is causing Arun in this person's body. Ekpa Romo Olofin. Ifa fún Olofin mẹ́yìn tí ó mójú ẹkún ṣùgbẹ́rì ọmọ ẹbọ wọn pé wá ṣe. Ekpa Romo is the one who cast Ifa for Olofin. When Olofin was contemplating about giving birth, he went to do divination for Omla. Omla says, Omla did sacrifice for you and said, before this time next year, he will give birth. Olofin didn't give birth. Omla told him that he should stop eating granite. But because the king liked granite so much, so the king now said in his own mind to say, I'm not going to chop granite for public again. Can't go buy plenty granite, put that for inside a room. You know, he does not eat granite publicly, thinking that I think that will solve the problem, forgetting that it is in eating the granite that is affecting life and that alters his allergies, alters his own DNA. So he was unable to give birth. He came back the next year. I'm like, you never born. He said, I never born. They did the nation. The first says that this person is still eating granite. He says, is this granite that you're eating? All of you confess that it's true. I see they chop the granite too. Stop this granite to give birth. I told the lady, stop the granite. He said, I just like to be snacking. You know, I cannot.
But have there been cases where you have misdiagnosed? I mean, doctors have had that. So have there been cases where
That is the beauty of Ifa. There's no misdiagnosis.
you've never made a mistake?
I've never made. Well, humans are prone to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But even in the mistakes that we make as African spirituality, there is the error of those mistakes are extremely very low. Maybe from a fake priest who was not satisfied. Because for you to be a priest, you must have gone through the rigors of training. And in the process of going through those rigors of training, there are certain ethics and ethos that it's on today where everybody don't turn to Babalawo for TikTok and everywhere. So it is, if you meet with a real priest who has gone through the process of becoming priest, the chances of giving you an error in divination is extremely low. Extremely low.
So how does a person now know the difference between a real priest and a fake priest?
Yeah, now a real priest would never tell you anything until divination has been done. So a real priest does not know until he has sought out for, until he has inquired. So a real priest will inquire for you, do divination for you, whichever means he uses. Be it the Opele, be it the Agbigba. Agbigba is common in Benin Republic. Be it the Opele, Agbigba, Ikinfa, the carries and all. Whichever means he uses, he's still going to come back to a point where you cannot begin to decipher what you have come to.
Which one?
Exactly. I was going to ask, which one do you use?
There's actually no divination tool that I cannot use. I mean, Babalawo, Baba, father of mystery. I've been a child, son, uncle, brother before I become father of mystery.
Oh, that's how it's arranged.
It means that it's allegorical to say that I've gone through the ranks of training to get to that point.
So the reason why there was a question I wanted to ask before Sarah, I love the fact that you went into the pastor's side, that pastors come and meet you for it. The next thing I wanted to ask, are there known politicians in Lagos that come and meet you?
Why Lagos?
Lagos, because he's in Lagos now.
Like,
let me just
people can come from Ogun State.
Yeah, but let me just start Lagos or even Nigeria as a whole that come and meet you and say, Baba, you see this election,
I won't win them.
It is no. Now the point is this: even SUG election, people go to do divination. SUG election, people come and meet that Baba. Want to do SUG this year?
Student union, no.
Ordinary student union. Talk less of governor or president or. It is in history have taught us that humans are naturally inquisitive. to know what is unknown.
Hmm.
So you cannot, if you are going to an election where you spend billions of naira, you want to know. Even in another business, you do business SWOT analysis and all whatnot to know, this money I want drop. Nah, I will get problem, I will get problem. So it is normal. It's a normal thing. So the same way politicians go to church, mosque to receive divine. Most of those politicians who go to affairs and all, some affairs do divinations too.
Mm-hmm.
They have, although it's a divination system, this is a hill I want to die on. It's a divination system of Oya. The sand, they do sand divination. It's Oya's divination model anyways.
But I thought they use their thing, that their
those rosaries are not divination materials.
I mean, for the affairs.
It's not a divination material. They have their divination. If you are listening to this, they know what I'm saying. So they go all around to make those divinations because they want to know. To know is to be free. I don't think it's a crime to want to know.
No, I don't think you should mix two religions. If you're an afar, I think you should follow the Quran strictly. Why are you using, another divination route?
Okay, maybe you should go to an affair's place and say you are looking for husband. You in soap, now will give you.
No, what she's trying to say is, you say you're an alpha.
That's what I'm aligning with her.
Hey, so stick to your Quran. Why are they coming to meet you?
They don't do that any longer.
Don't be like you now, they blend that with the name of Jesus.
No, they don't do that any longer. They don't.
So, with this whole, with technology and the way the world is evolving, do you think that this method of worship and IFA, this thing will fizzle out? Are you worried that? Because
worried, kwa. I'm not worried though.
He's Pokebo.
Yeah, in the sense that, see, everything that is happening are new. Every new thing already has an old past. It's being refurbished. The world is being, any new development you are seeing in the world. I study information technology. So anything you are seeing in the world is a refurbished version of an old invention. There is no new invention. It is the law of energy conversion. Nothing is created, not destroyed. That law is very important in nature. Nothing is created. We are converting one thing to another, So everything that is being currently created has already been created.
Yeah.
You get it? So now, we are just remodifying them. Now, we seem to look at technology from the Western point of view. And we think that technology is when we have flashes, smartphones, and all forms of. But then we are retrogressing as a people. We are not advancing technology-wise,
So?
in the sense that we have lived or we have forgotten about our own indigenous technology that is advanced and that is at par with nature, that does not alter the course of nature. The current trend of technology that the Western world is giving to us is a technology that alters and affects the primordial organization of nature, Mother Earth. So let me give an instance. What is technology? Technology is technology is a device or means through which work is done more efficiently and with less time. Anything that will do work more efficiently and with less time is technology, whichever color form it takes. So now let me give an instance. You know the number of CO2 and the number of carbon emission that a private jet would cost to nature. And a private jet is a technological means of traveling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we now decide to say, okay, our forefathers were so advanced. Now, don't laugh now. It's
I'm sorry, I know it's laughable.
It's laughable, but then it is the reality. Our forefathers had means through which they can transport from point A to point B without altering any aspect of nature. Which one is more technological out of the two?
Are you sure it was not a myth that they could actually transport and
it is just the fact
appear
that
and disappear?
the knowledge that they use in doing all those things, they are no longer available for majority of this knowledge are no longer available for public domain.
Have you done it before?
People are take time on.
But we would like to know.
People no longer have access to majority of all this information as against before, because of the negative things that people were doing with it and whatnot. So it still happens.
But have you done it before?
People still.
How did you get here?
How did you get here? Because you came here early.
I drove down here. People still.
There's no evidence. There's no evidence.
People still, do some things. I just use that as an instance. There are so many technologically advanced models to things that we already have. But because the point at which we look technological advancement is from another man's lens. That is where we think that we are not advanced. Who say we are not advanced? We are not advanced. We have invariably the cure to all the health challenges we have before Oyinbo came to this part of the world. Is that not advancement? Is that not medical advancement?
Wait, do people have the cure to HIV/AIDS?
What is HIV?
Have you cured HIV before?
What is HIV?
Human immune deficiency syndrome. Have you cured this before?
Those are
human immune virus.
I don't know if that is good to say on the podcast, but those are
white man disease.
No. I don't want to use the word white man disease. I want to say that those are genetically made.
Oh yes, we know.
So now we. It still goes back to what Ifa is saying. The good or bad, now we.
So if I can
cure
tell you
now, yes, why not? We have Babalawos who have cures.
Have you cured cancer before?
We have Babalawo. Yeah, there are cures to cancer. Cancer. What is cancer? We have cancer. Cancer is when a part of your body is not alive, it is dead.
It's fighting other parts of your
body. So what our fathers do is to ensure that they awaken that part of the body. There are many. See, it is not by when you both don't have cure to cancer, they just manage it.
Yeah. That's what I was asking.
There is no health challenges that we don't have a cure to in this part of the world. There is no health challenges. The fact that you don't have access to it does not mean it does not exist. The fact that you have not found it does not mean it does not exist. But then there is, as long as it has to do with the body. We know our fathers have a clear-cut understanding of our entire body system, our body anatomy, more than what you want to tell us. So it behoves me if someone now comes to say, no be them, no be Oyinbo make you open high. No be you. This is the fact that I'm not using an iPhone 13 or this. It does not make me somebody who is not advanced.
Yeah.
You get my point. So we have been looking at advancement the wrong way until we begin to see technology, science, all the things that we do. They are pure science, pure and applied science. I was speaking to Dr. Tunde Adigola, and we were talking about Boolean algebra and how Orunmila had been able to, cataloged those knowledge in the different bases of Ifa over time. Somebody just come from 1700 to say that is Boolean, Professor Boolean, and he's discovered, just like someone saying he discovered Mungo Park.
Yeah.
Like how? These are things that
Like
these are research work that our ancestors have done. They have kept, they have utilized, and over time. In one image, Ifa talks about Orunmila using astrology, doing divination by looking at the sun. And someone are coming today and telling me that he's an astronomer, Professor Klinikon discovered Klinikon. What are you discovering? People are coming to dust our forefathers' research, our ancestral research, and they don't make good use of it.
Okay, so in the Ifa religion now, must you be a priest before you have access to these kind of informations? Or is this something that if you're naturally an Ifa worshipper, you would normally have access to?
Naturally, you should have access to information, but keyword access. And that is when I mentioned initiation. Initiation gives access, basically, to some things beyond the surface level. For instance, I want to be initiated into the sacred mysteries of Oshun. I can wear yellow and put on Oshun beads and chant Oshun right and all, sing Oshun songs. I can know generally about Oshun on the surface. But if I want to understand the deep mysteries of Oshun, what makes her Oshun? What are the powers that she uses? What are the powers that she has?
Oshun is a woman.
Yeah. What are the powers that she has and what not? I have to be initiated to have access to those mysteries. And that is the essence of initiation. Initiation into Obatala and all whatnot. The rite that you do, it's rite of passage for you to have access to all of these things. So on the surface here, you can have access to information as generally as you want to be. But beyond, if you want more, then you now need access, because Oshun will not just come and give you this thing without having a level of interaction with you spiritually.
Okay. You should have found a way to not answer the question that I asked regarding the politician.
Yeah, I answered the question. I said that
you answered it like a politician. People go, even SUG, they go to
people.
Ask,
No, you want me to say that so and so person
hey, that's the question that I'm asking. Because
come,
we had a conversation off camera and you were ready.
No, people
head
come
in there.
People
Ebola.
People come. No, listen. People come to personally, for me, I think that the way our society is structured is just unfortunate that we give no credence to the existing structures of our society. The Oshugbos, the Awos, the different cultural conclaves. In contemporary times, they are supposed to be paid salaries because their roles in society are much more important than what we imagine.
You mean the traditional worshippers
Yes.
should be paid salaries?
There are sections. I don't mean all traditional, but there are
like priests, rather.
there are conclaves of house. There is the Oshugbo cult. It is the cult that is consecrated for kingship rites, installing a king, removing a king, and all whatnot. They are the Oshugbos, and so on and so. So there are different cults like that in society. I think as a matter of fact, their role in, aside from the Oshugbo, there is now the cult of Babalawos. That is Ajo Babalawo, who does divination every day, headed by the Araba, which is the head of the house. Does divination maybe once a week for the community. And in my own community, I do divination for the community, and we do rituals for cleansing.
That sacrifice when they put for T junction.
Well, it is not. If you look at it closely, it is those alphas and pastors that put rituals in the junction.
Eh?
It's not Babalawos.
Why do you say so,
yes,
sir?
because as a Babalawo, I have issue in my temple. That
You have what?
Issue groove in my temple.
What do you
That
mean,
I
like
take-
devil?
Issue is not devil. Issue is not Satan.
What is Satan?
Now, Satan is not found in our own spiritual cosmology.
I found out, yes.
Yeah,
The
what
issue
is in
not-
our spiritual cosmology is Efun ati Edi, which is tantamount to the negative of good and bad. So Efun is I don't know how I'm going to the energy that makes you do things against your will, and then after you doing it, you now realize well, it's the work of the devil, work of the. So even if Ajayi Crowder wanted to, interpret, it was Ajayi Crowder who did that big mistake. Even wanted to interpret issue as Satan. If you're looking for Satan in our own cosmology, the most possible closely related energy in the African cosmology is Efun, not issue.
I was having a conversation with somebody one time. I think it was when I went to the Ibadan Museum or something. I remember, and then the woman was trying to explain to me what issue was, and then she made a statement. She was like, "Oh, that people who worship issue, the thing about issue is that when you ask him to do something for you, and he does it, you don't know what he's going to require for you.
That is a
from
lie
you
from the pit
in
of
hand."
hell.
And I was like, that sounds pretty much like the devil.
That is
No,
that
so
is
apparently
now issue is an enforcer of the laws of nature. Issue is many things in many ways. It's an enforcer of the laws of nature. It's just like the police in that case. Yeah. So, number two, issue is the bridge between different planes. So it's the messenger that we send to different planes.
So you people send issue.
Yeah. So it's a messenger. It's a divine messenger. So more or less like the angels who they divinely send on errands and all whatnot. It should be the divine messenger.
Angel.
Yeah.
And
Who does not is not fallen angel.
God, you
It was like a messenger. It is a messenger, so to say. It is a enforcer of the sacred laws of nature, and Ishu is one of man's greatest best friend because Ishu gives is a truth. Is a one of the most truthful deity in the sense that it tells you the truth and tells you what to expect when you do this. Ishu gives you options. If you do this, this is the outcome. You should do this. This is the outcome.
So why do they now drop sacrifice in the middle of the road? Is that where
C
issue?
junction.
Yeah, is that where issue resides?
Now, issue now, just like every other deity in the contemporary world, every other deity now has an access point, or what we call groove, where you can access their energies. So issue is accessed in Yongi. It's like a stone in the temples of Babalawos. And if a Babalawo has issue in his house, why should you now go to the bus stop? So I don't go to the bus stop to
and you don't tell your people
I
that
don't tell
okay,
my people,
sacrifice
there is
there.
issue in the temple that take the sacrifice to
Okay.
that will give our sacrifices to. So why should we distort or
So if I go chop waiting they put for that place, waiting go do me.
nothing, not food.
So you mentioned about the we talked about the sacrifices at Teen Junction, and you said you were not straightforward, but I want to know who are those people that put all those sacrifices at T-junction, and the thing not reduced. Before it was, they used to put like a lot of food and all
I
that.
did. Still they cotton
Okay,
side
still dey.
well.
Okay.
Funny enough, in my area, when I was going to church on Sunday,
That-
I saw
If you
one
look at it, it is people who don't have access to issue, who don't have issue at home.
Okay, so they just go
That
to
mostly go to the
T-junction.
T-junction to place their rituals.
So it's issue.
If you look closely into it, you realize that who are the people who are spiritually inclined but don't have access to issue? They are our pastors and our fathers. They are the one that will go and look into one account. Yeah, I'm can together.
But why do you think it's pastors and affairs?
Because
Why
I
not a
know.
normal person?
Because I know, as a normal person, will you go and carry ritual and put in the bus stop?
No.
No,
But why will a pastor
they will
decide to
see
go
him,
and
and person
drop-
fit see him for night?
They do it a lot. That's what I'm telling you. This is my field. I know things.
So what if it's a
I am
pastor?
Ezemo. I know things.
Okay, now.
Are you guys also the people that do oral?
Yeah, well, the Oro too has a cult, but I'm a member of the Oro cult too. The cult is also a path of the community, and it's a ritual. It's a banishing ritual, anyways, to banish all forms of negative energies away from the community.
I thought they
So why is
kill
that women
people.
must not-
Exactly.
They don't kill people
Oh.
as against the
The myth.
the myth. It's not even a myth. It's starting to become a myth from consistent lies. And when you tell a lie too much, it becomes the truth. So Oro, according to primordial to ancient history, according to what Ifa has said, Oro itself is a woman.
Oral is a
Oh.
woman.
Yeah.
Is that why women shouldn't be on the road?
So there are things that happened at the particular point of when she was coming to this. She's a deity, but she's a female deity. But then she personally does not want to see. There are some things that happened along the line that I cannot be saying on here, and it led to the fact that women cannot see Oro.
So what if they say?
Now, one of those things you see, there are two different things that is happening when people do Oro right. When they say they sell woman, people with different motives might utilize the avenue of Oro to wreak havoc or do what have you. And some things might be beyond the control of that's why there's usually public announcements, so that people with negative intent would not utilize that time to cause havoc to people, So the Oro, there is an Oro groove. So Oro does not even come outside of the community. Are you with me? Every community has an Oro groove. So there's what we call Aja Oro. Aja Oro is more or less like there are people who go around to see that women do not come when Oro is coming out. When Oro is in the community, women don't. So they are like they are like security details who come outside. Those are the ones you see. You can never see Oro.
So what do they do when they see? Okay, two things. What do the agile roles do to women when they see them on the road at that time? And
Now-
secondly, what would happen to a woman if she sees Oro?
Now, when
They say oral. though.
you cannot see Oro because you cannot even come to the groove. There is a groove. There's a consecrated Oro groove. That is where Oro is. The Aja Oros are like security. It's just like saying that the president is in the villa and he has security details around the villas, and you are moving towards the villa, and the security details are telling you, no, go back. You can't come near here. This is a restricted area. That's exactly what's happening. So those people you meet on the road saying, this is what they do, is to turn you back, to say that this path that you are going to is a restricted area. You cannot access this path. So, and people can be, in most cases, people might want to utilize that as a means to cause havoc or do some things that are not even.
There were rumors that this Oro thing was politicized during the last election. Is that true? Like
Well,
they
before
declared Oro at
No.
the wrong time.
No, I want to disagree with that. When you come out to say some things, you come out with fact. Fact is different from emotions. Let's just not be emotional with things here. Each community has their own peculiar times to do Oro. Each community. Weird Oro must come out to banish ritual, to do its cleansing right. Each community, the one that the Aja's own, the date might be different from Lakwe. Lakwe's date might be different from any community that has a king. They have the groove and they have their time, their premeditated time. If peradventure it falls during the time of election, it will not stop them from doing their Oro because they have a premeditated time is aside from election. So the one you can now say that it is politically used. If you go and check the time, and you see that it is not consistent with the times they've been doing it earlier.
There were stories of that. That some areas it didn't coincide. Some people they used to do their oral at night, and then suddenly in 2023 they were doing it in the morning.
No, there's no oro that has been done in the morning. When people do oro, it is in the night. It's usually in the midnight, but preparations will have started maybe from 9 p.m. 8, 9. Preparation would have started, and then from 12, 1 till like 4 in the morning. The moment the cock crows, there's nothing like oro again. In African system, the first 3 cock crows signifies the beginning of a new plane in the spiritual realm. So when the cock crows in the morning around that 4:35, spiritually all malevolent forces who are on this piece of the heart must leave. And
now we watch for all these Mosaic movies that way they go come disappear.
No.
Thank God, my God. Do you want?
No. So, people, forces like that will come to this heart and must leave us at that point in time, So, Oro, they must have concluded all the rites that they have done at that point in time. There is a popular saying that Idaluni Shilu, which means that each community to its own right. So, some communities might say their own Oro is 7 days right. This community might say their own Oro is 3 days right, dependent on research that the spiritual leaders of the community have done over time. The Babalawos has okay, Oro, this is what you be doing it to, and those laid down foundations have been in existence in time immemorial. It happens in the UK. They do Oro there. They do cleansing rites in the UK, in Germany, in everywhere in the face of the heart.
How do you mean? Like white men do things
they
like
do
that?
Cleansing rites for community. They come out.
Yeah, but sir, I wanted to also state that most of these Oro now is poor areas, all those Ikotun, all those Igbe, all those.
It's a lie.
They do Lekki.
No, Lekki is not. I'm talking. Have they done Oro?
But sir, all
before?
my life I've been in Lekki. Excuse me, sir, I've not seen them do Oro in Lekki phase 1.
Listen, Lekki phase 1 is under which local government?
Ekpe. Is it Ekpe?
No,
Etiosa.
Good now. Etiosa has a king or not?
I'm not aware of it.
Etiosa has a king. And if a kingdom has a king, they must have sacred groves. The fact that we are now urbanizing our areas does not mean those grooves does not exist. The damage we have now done to those grooves is to shrink those grooves in size.
How do you mean?
In terms of landmass.
Okay.
Shrink them in size, cause them to a small place.
Yeah.
And they do their things there. The fact that you don't see does not mean that they don't do it. That's why I say these people, the acts of service that they do to humanity is something that if you have a working system of government, these peculiar people ought to be paid because they are putting out their lives and their line to ensure that the community is safe and sound.
So, with or without Oro, the community go there safe now.
There is no place on the face of the heart that they don't do cleansing rites. Yeah.
Okay.
Because as much as there is good, there is also evil. We
have not heard of Oro in Ikoyi before, but
there is.
Okay.
There is.
Okay.
There is.
Okay. My last question. Let me ask my last question and maybe take a bow. Do you have any prophecy or revelation for Nigeria as
Before
a country?
he answered, let that be our last
Well,
question.
prophecy, or let me quickly answer that. So yearly, we used to do yearly IFA divination. IFA had already spoken for Nigeria this year. And I remember that the Odus were Oturupon Meji in Ile-Ife and Onwani Shogbe in Ekiti. And for me, Babalawos have spoken at length at those point in time. So those are information that are available to the public domain.
On the internet?
Yeah. However, personally, for myself, I am looking at those words and I am writing a recourse for it from the economic policies that if I had, presented to Nigeria and Nigerians. For instance, if I told us, Turupon Meji, that this year for us, we are going to face a lot of challenges. But despite all the challenges that we face, we will still be intact. If I need a jalu yikin awepon, if I fekpon, ekpon loss, ekpon beni rogun itan mejeji ebo won pe wa se. O beni rogun ta itan mejeji ebo won pe wa se. Ewo ma wepon ni ekpon ni fo.
That's ekpon.
Yes, if I use the male genitals to explain that. As much as the male genitals is in between two enemies, the two laps, The worst that they can do is this one to dunk to this place and dunk to that other
You
side.
no go affect the boss.
But the boss will never die.
Was if I a man?
So if I saying allegorically that it is an explanation. It's used to explain something that the situation of things that we are finding ourselves, we are caught in between. At our left, there's challenge, light challenge, but we might be facing challenges left and right. We'll survive it. That is the meaning of that statement. That a woman work on for. So it is one of the verses of food. I don't want to bring it up because I'm writing an article to that effect already on the economic policies that IFA has presented to the country. From
looking at the spiritual lens, looking at the spirit, you don't already talk. Looking at the spiritual lens, do you think that Nigeria, from the spiritual angle now with the IFA eyes, do you think that Nigeria is at the place it's supposed to be?
Well, we all know, as much as human want are insatiable, we are never at the place that we are supposed to be. We are constantly revolving, we're constantly moving. We are not there yet, and I cannot say for a fact if we'll be there in the next few years or not. But I know that as long as we keep trying as a nation, and as long as we believe that we can, there are nations who have even experienced even worse challenges than Nigeria in times past, and they've been able to navigate themselves out of those millions. Look at China. What did China do? China, we are all talking about industrialization. People forget that the first thing China do was to revert back to their indigenous spirituality. When they moved away from the British colonization, they first of all eluded themselves from their spiritual system. They reverted back to their own spiritual system.
System. So this now
they practice Taoism, Shintoism, and all whatnot in China. Those are the spiritual system that is ingenious to them as a people.
So are you saying that that's what Nigeria needs to do for us to get
because
better?
we are lost as a people. How can we say that we are a people how can we, or to what lens do we want to look into the future if we don't have a system to check it? Which system is peculiar to, which spiritual system is peculiar to us as a people?
But I mean, you already said off air that there's budgets for this traditional spiritual system. So I think as a state, maybe Nigeria is doing what they need to do on that lens.
No, what I said off air was that there are a governor, a president, anybody with executive power can, as much as he has decided based on advice from advisors and all whatnot, decide to go to a priest for consultation on behalf of the state. The records for that can be captured in special duties or maybe security force.
So how often does that happen?
Well, it is dependent on the state and the governor, and whatever place the executive power is docile or domicile.
Has that happened in Lagos here?
Well, it is left to the chairmans and the governors to.
But question is, has it happened?
It is no. The point is this: let us not say.
Say a politician.
No, listen.
You are just a politician.
You say if I sense.
You are just a politician. The question you use politics.
No.
Because from my own lens, I'm thinking if the people in power are doing that by consulting these spiritual powers, then I think that it's safe to say that
they are doing their bid.
No, wait.
And Nigeria is still where it
I'm
is.
saying that listen, don't misconstrue my thought.
Okay.
I am saying that it is within a governor's, a local government chairman, anybody who wields executive power. It is within his own, thought process to decide on behalf of the community or what have you, to decide to say, okay, let's go for a divination. It is of his own free will and accord. It's not spelled out in the Constitution of Nigeria. That's why even if they do it, they cannot come out openly to do it because it is not within the whims of our Constitution that the governor, Section 1, Subsection 2, a governor shall now appoint to be
And
doing.
if a priest.
Now, they do that through our kings
Okay.
in most cases, because if you look at the kingship system that we practice, the king has diviners. Every kingdom has diviners who divine. That is the Araba of a community, is the official diviner for that community. So if the Araba does divination, for instance, there's a place in I don't want to talk about this, but there's a place in Lagos that I divined for the king 2-3 years back, and I told them that if I say you guys should do sacrifice and feed Ogun, yeah, because there's going to be development in this place in before you know it. and development that you have not seen in the last 50 years. Yeah. This community had no road. There's no road accessible. So the only place you can go to that community is through water.
Are you trying to figure out what community
I
it
don't
is?
know. But today,
Okay, he says in Lagos.
yeah, it's in Lagos. But today,
It be
No.
like say that
No,
Ilashel is
if
I
na,
don't know.
Songo Tedo.
no, before
but today, I am happy to say that development has started in that community.
What type of development, sir?
Yeah, the development that they never had when we did that divination. I never said, see, people should go and feed Ogun because development is coming to these communities for Ogun energy to attract that.
How
level of
did they do
development.
it? How did
They
feed
fed
Ogun?
Ogun. The community had Ogun.
Oh, they have like a shrine.
Each community had their own. That's why we are saying that there's no Oro in Ikoyi. I'm like looking at, if you go to Ikoyi, Ikoyi has Eshu. Ikoyi has Ogun. Ikoyi has all these.
Ikoyi.
Yes, every community that has a king has his own. Why is he a king? Why is he a traditional leader?
But that Iko Atlantic will not have.
So are there traditional leaders
They are
that
not
decide
traditional
exactly? They're not
worshippers.
traditional worshippers.
Well, that is the battle that we are at the moment. Because with time, I want to believe that if you want to hold a traditional position, you should be a traditional person. It's only a traditional person that should be able to hold a traditional position. Just like saying that me as a priest, decided to be being the Baba Adini of a mosque. It contradicts itself.
True.
So our people, because of the hypocrisy that lingers within our society, we want to enjoy the benefit of a position. We don't want to give out the equal amount of work that is required for that position. It does not just in our own kingship area. A lot of Nigerians, we know that I am not qualified for this position. But they said the salary is 1 million at this thing. I go apply. We know we are not competent enough to handle this position. But because we are Nigerians, we are concerned more about the benefits rather than what we want to give out to that job or to that position. It's happening in our traditional spaces too. A lot of people want the reverence and the camaraderie that comes with the royal stool.
Yeah.
But then the work that you have to put in.
Yeah.
A lot of people place a lot of work in ensuring that they preserve that royal stool before you came to that place. Years and years and centuries of histories of toils and labors that people have put into this thing to preserve this sacred institution. You want to enjoy the benefit of those years without giving in those work. It does not sit well. So how can you be a Muslim and say you want to come and sit on the traditional stool? It contradicts.
So what you're trying to say now is ideally, a Muslim should not be a king.
Why would they be a king?
Why? It's happening.
What is happening?
So that's why he's saying that's one of the issues.
That's one of the issues. And it is because now a king is supposed to hold the fort together
Of the
community, spiritually, socially, culturally. A king is an emblem of that culture. A king is the one who is supposed to tell you that's why they say Alasheke Jorisha. When people say Alasheke Jorisha, the king is the intermediary between the deities and the people. To say that we call them Oniless, those who own the land. We are all passerbys and inhabitants of the earth. We are not, I will die, we all die, and people will come. So people have died and people have left this world. So we are passerbys. And there are real owners of the earth.
And those are these deities.
Those are the Oniless. The king is supposed to be the representative between the Oniless and the people, the intermediary. And he's supposed to show the glamour of the Oniless. In doing such, he's supposed to be an ambassador for the Oniless. Show the culture, the language, the reverence, the spirituality, everything that's encompassing the Oniless. A king is supposed to be an ambassador for that. So now, where it now gets tricky is that if a Muslim who all his life has been, practicing Islam, which is obviously a foreign religion anyways, and decides to be a king, now it means that even in the spiritual realm, it is self-contradicting. Because now the teachings that he has had over time negate the current teachings or negate his current existence or his reality.
True.
And in Islam, it is wrong for him to eat pork. What if pork is the major food that the deities of the land eat? How does it balance that differences?
So what if that person now decides to reject the throne? Would there be consequences?
There are no consequences. There are cases where people have been banished from their thrones, cases where people have moved away from their community. The only thing is that in most cases, if you are usually banished, if you reject the throne, the only thing is that you don't stay in that community because of the right that has been done for you.
Sir, if a king, right, becomes like maybe a Christian king or a Muslim king, can't you guys do something to make that, like that shower already where this thing, you have to remove that crown? Because
now the point is this: the rigors it takes for the making of a king. The making of a king in itself is a process. Not just by the certificate of kingship they collect from the government. Sorry. The making of a king is a big project on its own. It's not a one man's project. It's a communal project. The entire community, each person, each cult community contributes certain right to the process. So the way our fathers have done it, they democratize the power system in such a way that these people, they have a part of the right that they must do for you. These people have a part of the right they must do for you. These people have a part of the right they must do for you. So it's not just one person. Now, in the process of doing all those rights, it takes a lot of time, resources, materials, energy, effort to do that. And how do you think that the next thing is to kill the person or to make the person go mad after all the process? Imagine a king that was in seclusion for 21 days. Where people were doing all forms of rights for him every day, sleeping. We've had kings that we've gone. Me, I don't even do it again. I don't go. Anybody who wants to become a king, let him go and be his king. I don't go for any right again. Because to what end? After having sleepless night and all whatnot, to perform those rights for you, you come back after you have now become the king. You know that you can no longer harm you again because there are oaths that bind us from harming you, and we cannot, because of the fact that we must adhere to those oaths. We cannot. He's our king. He's our leader.
So it's more like allegiance.
We have allegiance, so we must revere him as our leader. So how do you now expect me to still go and the person I swore hold that I'm going to the powers I have, I'm going to use it for the protection, propagation, and the advancement of this community. I swore that oath as a priest.
But is it every king that must go through that thing?
Yes, and that's what makes you king.
Yeah.
Sorry. So are you saying now, because I know that there was a redeemed pastor that came from abroad. Let me not mention.
Sean?
Yeah.
That
is a king now. Are you saying that he went through this?
Let him come outside to say that he didn't do right.
No, he's a pastor.
Let him come outside and say he did not do any right.
You get what he's trying to say.
Let him come out to debunk the fact that he had gone through any right.
That he didn't do it.
So what if he didn't do it?
Why won't he do it?
I'm just saying, what if he didn't do it? Does that mean he's not king?
No, what if he says, what if
his religion?
No, listen. Kingship is not in the paraphernalia. Kingship is not in Asheloba or Balashe. That's all.
What does that
mean? It's authority.
Okay.
And those authorities is for you to have authority over all the planes of a community. Not just the physical plane, the spiritual plane, the mystical plane, the ecclesiastical and all whatnot. For you to have authority over all of them, you must go through right. Right of passage that gives access to those authority. So what happens to king like that who don't have such authority? A lot of things will be happening to them. Go and check their lives. A lot of things will be going wrong there. Forget the paparazzi and the branding. A lot of things will be going wrong in their life. Check their personal life. Check the life of their children. Check the life of their community. Go and do fact findings in their life.
They don't have that authority over
because they don't have that authority. The authority that they are using is not genuine. So the fact that they have a staff of office from the governor or from this thing does not directly. The governors themselves, they know. It is part of the traditional rule. That's why the government is always in meeting with there's a traditional council. They know all these things. So even the governor that is giving you the staff of office will not tell you, don't go and do right. This staff of office that I'm giving you supersede all the right. No governor can say that. Because they know for a fact that he has to undergo certain rites that gives him spiritual authority
Over that environment.
over that authority, over that environment.
Talking about kingship
this thing
and
serious, so.
talking
This is
about,
deep.
because to me I feel like you as a Christian, they say come and be king, and you know what you have to
Then
go
why
to do.
you
Why
there?
you there? Day your day. Me, I don't understand. But talking about kingship and all, let's talk about is it Arujule?
No, Awujale. Awujale.
Yes, let's talk
It's
about
even
that.
not for the fact that this I will have dived you.
Sorry, I'm trying
it's
to.
our-
Nah, Igbo. Nah,
It's our
Igbo.
king
I'm
that
sorry.
you that
I'm
you
sorry.
Awujale.
the fact
Apologies.
So what would happen if you dive her?
the fact that the fact that
Apologies, sir.
they
See
didn't
this
do
stuff
well
here.
with his death does not mean that it's if
What do you mean they didn't do well with this?
that with his burial and all whatnot. The fact that the Awujale is not even the person. It is the stool.
It is
you
his
cannot
stool.
desecrate
The
that
office,
stool that
yeah.
way.
Okay.
The Awujale of Ijebuland.
Awujale. So you said they didn't do well. You
He
mean
didn't do well with his rights, and I think there are so many things that and I want to say this. I'm not talking to any other persons. I'm speaking, and I hope that people in my community can listen to this, because whether we like it or not, we need to be politically active and inclusive. Whether we like it or not, we cannot be too spiritual from being involved in the day-to-day runnings of our society.
Yeah.
So that charlatans and nitwits will not make laws that will affect our lives negatively. It's unfortunate that the Awujale, being one of the most longest king to stay more longer alive, he had his good old days, and he had the benevolence of the Oniles. The benevolence so shone on his life that his life was what he lived a life worth living. He lived a life of reality. And now it is sad that number one, we are not properly educated. Number two, the process is because we feel that we could make it gargantuan. We wanted to keep some of the secrets, and I think it is time that we begin to put out all the secret, because there is nothing. The fact that people don't know it make people feel that it's evil. First and foremost, is the moment you become a king, you are no longer of your family. You are now a property of the community. Just like saying the president. The president is not the president. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is no longer Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to Seyi Tinubu
it's not the
or to Senator Oluremi Tinubu. He's now the president. He can decide to switch his roles and say, Remi, I am now Bola. Let's play as Bola and Remi. But the moment he stands on the tentacles of a president, he's a president. He's no longer the loving husband
or a father.
So if there are some decisions that he would obviously want to make, that he must never make those decisions from the vantage point of the husband of so and so, or the father of so and so, because he's no longer the father of or the husband of now. He's now the president of all of us. The same thing applies in this instance. The fact that Oba Adetono, may his soul rest in peace. The fact that he's Oba Adetono, the fact that this stool is seated upon is the Awujale stool. He has desecrated that stool in the sense that he did not, and in any recourse, think of things from the point of the Awujale. He made decisions as Oba Adetono, not as Awujale, because if he had made those decisions as Awujale, he would have thought like his ancestors.
So decisions such as
ensuring that he was buried properly, the rite of passage was done, because he's a king. He cannot be buried like a mere mortal.
Sorry, how did they?
The process of
He was royal. They
no,
put him.
no.
Okay.
Forget all the.
That kind of made back.
Forget all the
Flamboyant.
forget all the flamboyant on the camera there. No, there are processes. Life is in processes and stages. Everything has its own process. The moment he became a king, there was a passage. There was a rite of passage he did to becoming a king. Now he's no longer a king. There was a rite of passage. There must be handover. The same way President Buhari handed over to President Tinubu. There must be handover. There must be proper handing over of all the paraphernalia of kingship to the next Abujale, to whoever is going to step in to become the next Abujale before he goes.
Okay.
So his burial right in itself is a passage, because he cannot be buried like he's not a mortal man any longer. He cannot be buried like a mortal person. There are ways. Why didn't they bury the Queen of England the same way they buried any Jack Tomic and Harry in the UK?
True.
The rite of passage of the Queen was different, explicit, and carried out by people that were already consecrated. They call them the king and the crown and the craft, who were obligated to carry out a rite of passage as she has died. We all saw it, and the hypocrisy in us, as hypocritical as we are, we were applauding them the way they were doing their right. But back home, we refused to do things our own way, because we felt that now we have other ways or means to bury. First of all, it's a taboo in Yoruba land for a king to be publicly shown to the world if he dies.
Was he shown to the world?
Yes, they tied his dead body. It was in camera. We saw all these videos now.
Okay, so we're not supposed to see.
Why? Do you know the number of rites that they must have done to him before he became a king? When I mention right, I don't mean just say Ashakara Baba or say you are blessed in Jesus' name. These are sacred.
Those are sacred.
These are sacred rites that gave him access to different portals of spiritual existence. And the moment he died, they need to do for every opening there must be a closing. For every beginning there must be an end. He has ended his reign. Spiritually, the reign must end.
So that reign hasn't ended spiritually
for
yet.
me, from my own point of view, and I say this without any form of recourse, that reign has not ended.
What if they did this one and they now did the one for us, like the people to see?
First of all, it's wrong on all grounds. You cannot show a king's dead body in the open. It's a taboo go and ask any elderly person in Yoruba land. I don't know of any other land.
We don't see.
So will anybody be punished for that?
Well, it is now left for the Oniles. It is not. That's why I told the Awus that, well, if there are truly Oniles, let us watch and see.
Okay, I have one question. There are some people that say that when a king leaves the world,
there are people that they have to kill.
That there are people that have to follow the king.
Well, those are myths that have no facts.
But we saw recently in the news that somebody ran away because it was supposed to. Did you guys see that?
One is
That was when Ababaku.
Yeah, the guy, he ran away.
They said that one enter Canada.
It's a lie.
You know what go meeting.
It's a lie.
They chop all the thing with king, everything. He reach it, he move. Human beings.
Now I want to let people understand who Ababaku is.
Okay.
When the Pope dies, there's somebody in the Vatican that must confirm his death. That is the person's singular role in the Vatican.
You must check with them.
If the person says the Pope never died, he never died. Even if Pope never died, if the person says Pope don't die, he don't die. That is his primary role in that Vatican.
Just to confirm
the
death of Pope.
That is basically the role of the Ababaku, to ensure that the king is alive. So they say Ababaku first eats before the king eats, to show if this food is not poisoned. To show if this. So in contemporary politicking, Ababaku is more or less like the king logistics manager. So the king wants to stay in this hotel. Let me go and check if the hotel is safe for him to stay. King wants to sit down on this seat. Let me go and check if there are no paints there, if there are no charm there. To ensure that logistically the king is always well sorted. It's Ababaku that requests to confirms that it's Ababaku that tells the people that say, because it's always with the king. They say Ababaku is always with the king.
So why did that one now run away when he was just meant to confirm that
Where
the king
did he
was
run
dead?
to?
Where did they say he ran to?
Toronto,
See,
Canada.
all those ones are lies.
So he did not run away.
Now, did they kill him?
No, because they say that Ababaku like you rightly said, he's supposed to protect the king. So when the king now dies,
why
the
it
king
is
go
Go
visit.
with
visible?
him and bury him alive.
Why the word Ababaku is being entrenched that much on him is that they feel that he's ready to take the king's death, probably in food. Maybe king won't chop food now, they don't poison. Where you gonna chop him?
Mm-hmm.
It's on there. Through is there, the king will be able to know that
There's something wrong.
there's something wrong. Go waiting, kill that person. No be king kill him. Oba kuni or Oba ló ń ṣe. It is because of the king's good condition. He's going a task to ensure that the king. So in the process, he could lead to his death. He knows that his work could lead to his death if as long as he's protecting the life of the king.
So what if the king then dies before him? What does he now do?
Now what he does is that there are rites too that were done for him before he become an Ababaku. Another person, if the new king decides to keep him as his Ababaku, fine. If the new king decides to choose another person as Ababaku, the new rites will be done for this other person, and he has to be part of those rites.
And so he doesn't die?
Why would he die?
Are there Ababakus that are alive? And the kings are
These
dead.
these are researches that we should just go to villages and ask questions and say, okay, where is the Ababaku of this? And not all the word Ababaku is not peculiar to all the communities. There's some in Nekpe now they have Odioba. There are some.
So that's what they call them.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, so it's usually not the same name across, but the way Aworis would call it, different from the way Egbas would, acclaim there. So it's obviously always different.
Sir, this is very insightful, but I
Very.
wanted to ask you, this Awujale matter, sorry I'm bringing it back.
Yeah.
You said there were some rites that were supposed to have been done, for him to sort of hand over to the next
King.
thing for passage. Is it that the next one now will not be able to get will it affect?
Now that is where we are altering the foundation of our spiritual system. Part of the rite of passage is that in spirituality, the market ground holds a very, very revered spiritual significance.
The market.
Yeah. Anywhere in the world. Oja. The market is a place of intersection of every forms of energy. The world. Any market. That is why you see that markets are extremely spiritual places.
Marketplace.
Yeah.
We've heard though.
Because people come with different divergent forms of energies to that place.
Yeah.
If you go back to what I said earlier, that as it is above, so it is below, it means that during the daytime, after all of us have done our
Finished.
transactions and have gone back home,
Spirits would enter.
and some people will still come and do transactions in the night. Because people will still come and do those
As it
transactions.
is in heaven, so
So
it is on earth.
yeah. So now, one of those rites of passage that has to be done for the Awujale is to close the market. Now, the reason being that there are energies that would come to this world to meet with the Awujale in the market.
And they're not supposed to.
That he will talk to them, give them a clean, clear-cut account of his journey as a king. Yeah.
Okay, he will be in the market.
Yes, now
And they will not close
spiritually.
Okay.
That is why we don't want it is to
Protect people.
protect evil from coming into the major part of our towns.
Yeah.
So they have to seclude the market because we believe that those processes will go on. Àwọn tó máa àwọn bini àwa bini àwa bí ènìyàn. Those who ask questions will come.
So it's more like
How do
you
you
will give
use your
accounts.
reign? Who do you want to be? Do you know that the same way the presidential councils that will ask the president as we are going, who do you want to be your next president? The same way. They will ask questions. How do you do this? This power, where do you keep it? Where do you do this? Where do you do this? Where do you do? They have account. And those things are now things that will now inform whatever divination they are going to do in choosing who is going to be the next king. Because this tool in itself is a continuum. The work that they gave him when he became king, they gave him assignment. This is the level that this community is. This is the level that we foresee this community to be in the next 40 years. These are things and this and this and this and this and this we think we can do. You now use your own jurisdictions and your own thought process to achieve those goals, just like employing you. The
And
president
giving you
of
tasks.
Nigeria, the moment he became president of Nigeria, they handed over to him. He knew the goal. Every country has a plan, a long-term plan, short-term plan. Forget the difference in political parties. The moment you enter presidency, they will sit you down and tell you, Mr. Man, this is the vision that we have for this country. This is the template for this country.
Oh, okay.
This is where we are. This is where we should be.
Who will sit you down?
Baba, the presidency is not one person now.
It's a cabal.
It's not. This is not a matter of cabal. Presidency have staffs. There are civil servants there. Don't they have roadmap? They just go to office and resume every day without having a roadmap.
Fair.
So the president is coming there to make tough decisions based on the roadmap that the country must go. So the same thing with Yahujale, with or any other king that is coming upon a stool. There are roadmaps that our ancestors have. These are roadmaps that they have designed hundreds of years back and say, okay, when in the time of so and so person, this was what he was able to achieve. We hope that you can do this, you can do that. He will give account because they gave him account too. And that is why some of those kings whose rights were properly done will have great knowledge of history because people will tell them history that their fathers were not even there to see. They will give them account that he did a taboo, he slept with so person, another age girl. Because of that, this was the penalty we gave him. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. The secret of the community, they will tell the king. Every community has its own secret. Every community on the face of the earth
I've heard about that.
have their own secret.
So
how do we continue?
So this one, has it locked it?
The process.
Is it?
The years of history, the years of sacrifice that accumulated this tool Awujale. How do we continue it? If there is a break in transmission somewhere.
Is that not something that maybe you can ask
Is there
IFA
another way,
or
maybe
something?
2-factor?
Now, even
Then
if
it
you
can
ask
help you
IFA,
with
there are people who will not allow people to do those things. So what is happening in Ijebu now is that a lot of factors, people with powers and all whatnot, have debarred these people from doing the necessary thing that they're supposed to do. So
why is that so?
Because they have the power.
What kind of power now?
Physical power, political power, all those forms of power.
And it's not coming from a place of another religious
Before
influence?
it is coming from another place, a place for another religious influence. Before Badito died, I remember that I was with barrister, what's this barrister's name? Okpeudu. In court, when we challenged the same case with a king in Ijebu. I want to remember the name. The king died, and the children of the king, because of the fact that majority of the kingmakers and all whatnot were not educated and they were old already. The children arrested. I remember the community now. The children arrested them, and they took them to court demanding 500 million naira in damages, blah blah, or 5 billion naira in damages for. They said that they didn't allow them have access to their father. Your father knew. We all know what we are doing. You know, even you, the child, you know that as your papa be king, if he die, no be na property. Na communal property.
It's the truth now. I don't know why people.
You know this thing.
Actions and consequences.
You know the actions and consequences. The laws of the federation says that as long as it does not infringe your fundamental rights, that is the basis that they are this thing. But your fundamental right is no longer enshrined if you sign an agreement that the laws within this conclave, I want to abide by those laws. You have contradicted yourself. They are going to court to say that it's against the fundamental human right of the children not to be able to see their dead parents. But your father signed an agreement, because whether it's verbal or non-verbal, signed an agreement that as I want to become king, and he knows for a fact what kingship entails, because they will tell him at one of those things. They tell him as a baby, if you die, these are the processes. These are the processes. These are. He knows all those things. Your father knew all these things. He enjoyed his life, enjoyed the benevolence of the ancestors. And when it was time for him to die properly and give the community, it's selfishness. As against the community, the president does not really want the advancement of the community. Because if he really does want the advancement of the community, he would abide by the ancient customs and rules that ensure that the community is of peace and accord.
You meant, because from what we have learned a lot, and from what I can deduce, it's like there are a lot of similarities with what you do and what Christians or Muslims do. Like you have said, no, forget the talk, because she's like, you know why I said that, because you have said that whatever is done on earth is done in heaven. That one, the Bible.
Now
You have said meji.
What you don't
That's tutu. Now God said he created Adam and Eve. He created good and evil.
What you don't understand
You're
is
actually
that
right.
Christianity is the spiritual system of a particular race.
Of them Israel, of the Israelites.
No.
Okay.
No, they are not. Don't.
So what race is it then?
Follow the biblical, the current biblical tenet. I'm not there for that. I'm not a Christian. I don't want to talk about that. But
Okay.
then, my own point is that
No. The question is the question.
I'm answering it.
Okay.
Islam is the spiritual system. Now, the difference between spirituality and religion. The laid down processes of communication between man and God of a particular race is their spirituality. Now, coming together to worship God under that tenet, to worship God, is their religion. It is in the process of that having that religion that they cannot decide that, okay, if you are coming together, anytime you are coming next week, who could they carry bottled water? And that's how they carry bottled water over the years. It becomes a religious thing for them. The addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication they had to it is dependent on their realities in those times.
Yeah.
The people who wear hijab could be maybe because of dust or and they made it become, if you do things over and over, it becomes the norm. So it does not mean that God is too even big to be mono.
That's
now.
what,
so it alludes to the fact that it is their religious, it is their spiritual tenet that they package in their own religion, because religion is man-made. They package in their own religion and they are using it. They decided to transport it to us, and we decided to take it even much more than they believed. So that is, in my own way, the reason why some of spirituality is one and equal.
There's similarities in almost all of them.
So that means basically, there's no issue here. And the thing is, what I say is, just the way you are wearing native, you are wearing clothes, right? But this is native, right? You can say, oh, this is Yoruba clothes. Now, so another person could choose to wear suits. You understand? But at the end of the day, we are all covering our nakedness, except there is something in the Christian religion or spirituality that contradicts.
It will contradict because
for Christianity, it's just that the only way is Christ.
No, it will contradict.
No need for others.
The only way is Christ.
For Christianity,
is a political statement.
No, it's not. For Christianity, it's not.
It's a political.
He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life."
The same way you say you are the fact priests. We are Christians.
I agree with that.
So let's not get into the argument. It's true.
The fact that somebody is saying that I am the only way itself is a political advertisement.
It's not.
Listen, and I'll tell you why. Now, before Jesus Christ came, they've been prophets.
And they were all foretelling for when he comes.
Listen. And they did wondrously well in their times, from Elijah to Elisha to Moses and all whatnot. Now, to John the Baptist, to John and all whatnot. Now, the point is this. If you truly sit down to read and study the history of how Christianity came into being, you realize that there are some things I don't want to say on this podcast. And for that reason, there are some additions, subtraction, and some fine-tuning. Was it Jesus Christ that wrote the Bible? No. So it was not there when they wrote it. So there was no account that
he wasn't even a Christian.
There was no account.
He had 12 disciples who became apostles.
The epistles of the Bible. Epistles means account, personal account, memo. The way Gabashe wrote my time with President Kiniko. There might be lies in it. There might be truth in it.
But all of the different accounts,
listen now,
they corroborate each other
based on what he sees Jesus Christ is doing, based on what he sees Buhari is doing. In his memoir, it should be that because Buhari don't die. To say Buhari dey alive, all looks Gaba. I don't do this one. Oh. The same way with Jesus Christ too. People wrote an account of somebody who's no longer alive. You should agree with me that they're going to be lie. It is history vindicate those who are alive. It is those who are alive who rewrite history and write it the way it suits them. So it suits those who are alive at that point in time.
So which part of it do you think is a lie?
Now, the part that I think is a lie, that I know, I don't think for
Okay,
a
which
fact,
part do you?
is that Jesus Christ is the only way. That's not true.
I choose to believe that.
Because does it mean that people who
him.
are not Jesus Christ adherents or followers will die? Does it mean that people who are not Muhammad followers or adherents will die?
Everybody's going to die.
Does it mean that they will not, even if they die,
They don't have eternal life.
they won't mean that they don't have eternal life?
Okay, apart
They
from
can
that
have
one,
eternal life
We are all
now,
going
but
to
it
have
depends
eternal
on where
life.
your
Listen,
life is going to
we are
end
going
up.
to
period, though.
Listen, we are going to, when we die, we move this. Our body is of the heart.
I can relate to what you're saying actually. Funny
Dies.
enough.
The mother heart takes every part of our body.
But our soul then goes where?
Now we move to a different plane. It's just like saying the moment you travel from Lekki to Ibadan, you are dead in Lekki. You are dead in Lekki.
No. So far I'm on earth though.
That is spiritual.
Okay.
The fact that
What if
no
I'll
part
come
of
back?
you can be fine within the ambit of Lekki at this point in time. You are not physically available in Lekki. That is what death means
True.
to the people of Lekki.
Fair.
So the fact that you are no longer alive does not mean that you are no longer alive. It means that you are no longer on earth.
That's true.
There are different other planes that you can go to.
I totally agree with you. I
So
totally agree with you.
apart from Jesus is the
You're
only way, the
crazy.
truth, and the light. What other? Is there any other one?
That you don't believe
Or
in.
that's the only one?
No, I don't want. I said it. I don't want to talk about.
No,
Yeah,
but
let's not do
don't
that.
talk. But are there other
I
ones?
just said that. I just want to correct that notion that Jesus Christ is the only way. Why can't it be the only way?
Jesus is the only
He said,
way.
"I'm the only way to the Father."
Yeah,
Yes.
the only
No one can
way.
get
Yes.
to
No
the
one
Father
can
except through me. There was
Jesus
no
Christ.
missing of
Jesus
words
Christ.
with that. So what did you say?
He's a gatekeeper.
No, it's not
a
gatekeeping.
gatekeeper.
In fact, you know the crazy thing, because what he tried to do is to make sure that all of us have access to him.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, us Christians, we've messed up on the templates that Christ gave us. And I
Exactly.
really do hope that we all come into the fold and do what he expects us to
Well,
do.
I can say also
But it's
that
true.
truth.
Okay,
It's true.
If there's anybody that is watching this and is so convinced that okay, you know, they like what you're saying, is there a way they can give their life to? I mean,
well, the point is that I love the question. The point is you don't give your life to.
Exactly.
It's already in you. It's innate. It's
I'm like,
inertia.
would they use that one? No.
Listen. May you take time.
Why did you point him with that so that he'll be scared?
No. Now, there are. I still revert back to science, the science of our indigenous science, because we also don't believe that we are scientists in this part of the world. Everything now in Igbo standard. Now, reverting back to we as a people, the DNA that formulates you is a continuum of some people's journey. Your father's gene and your mother's gene came together to form you. Your father has his ancestors. Your mother has his ancestors. And when they both come together to form you, there is passive and active gene. Your father's gene might be passive while your mother's active. That's why you feel like you are tilted towards your mother's side. Your father's gene might be active while your mother's passive. Does not still remove the fact that both genes formulated you. Now, when you now say that and you want to give your life to this, you are you. The bloodline is in you.
It's in you already.
It is what formulated you. And that's why I was correcting her the other time that there's nothing like backsliding. There's people who go to Christian or Muslim that are backslided from their initial DNA. Because they were created, you are created as an Igbo girl, as a Yoruba boy, as an Hausa, this thing. And the blood, the gene that is indigenous to you is a gene of that people that gave birth to you. It is simple biology.
Sir.
A goat will not give birth to a dog.
Exactly. Totally agree. Let's wrap it up.
What's your
Which
handle
you
so
don't
that
have,
people
so
go-
which you don't have to answer, right? We can use it to wrap up. You're talking about gene, DNA. The question is, how do human beings come to be based on your IFA?
Okay.
I say you don't have to answer. How did they come to be?
Yeah.
Then when you start with how the first man came to be, then you will tell us how this DNA came to be
that
from
one,
this day.
that one,
because
another
let's go
episode.
to the
We don't have time. We don't have
origin.
time.
We don't have time. but
Unfortunately, if you ask this question at the beginning, this
You're
girl-
I
right.
swear.
I will answer you off, or maybe once we leave the studio. But,
But-
then,
but how do people connect with you?
now you can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm mostly active on Twitter. MKO_Olawole on Twitter.
MK Wonder.
MKO_Olawole.
Okay. I thought I
Underscore.
heard Wonder.
Olawole.
Olawole.
Yeah.
So please, guys, DM your questions and all that stuff, and your shrine, your
Is it called a shrine?
It's a shrine.
Temple.
Okay,
your
Temple.
temple. What forest? What area is it?
Do you want what for it?
Well, my temple is located at Ekpe,
Okay.
Ekpe, Lagos here, and
Nice.
so you can always reach out.
That
to me.
guy. Okay, that one's. There's one guy. Get one guy. Seeking. Is he also like?
Seeking.
There's a popular TikToker, but you might not know him.
Remember he said that some people are fake.
on
He
TikTok.
said
Oh,
There are so many fake priests.
So when you see them, how do you feel?
I have a product to counter that.
Hmm.
So I just launched a tech product. It is called Priest.Africa. Yeah. It's a
Ifa to the world.
Tech bro, guys.
Ifa to the.
Priest. Some tech priest.
He said it's what?
is a product where users can connect directly with verified priests.
Wow.
Verified priest.
Priest.Africa.
I wish we can have this kind of thing too in Christianity. We go verify.
Pastor.
Do you understand? Yeah.
But you feel verify, but you know they use them.
Period. That's
Girl,
all. High five.
You know they use them.
Period.
But that's all. Don't
Because
worry.
the truth is clear. When you see fake, you go no say na fake.
I've
Well,
had fair
you
share
choose
of
not to study
insight
your
from
scriptures. It's okay.
Business Insider, Reuters, Tech
Okay.
Cabal, and the likes. They've come to do interviews with me on this product.
Wow.
So it is in the process of, intervening and finding out that we discovered that there's a lot of havoc that is wrong with that community in terms of the quality of priests that we have. We've interviewed priests, people registered as priests on the platform, and they turned out to be pastors, and they told us that I have them church here. I said, well, how would you why would you be registering as an African priest? You are a pastor, you have church. Saying, I have a priest that I will take their names to. We've seen stuff. And so when I tell you the other time that we know all these things, we have data. Data don't lie. So over time, we've had over 100 applicants for priests, and over 70% is not even what to be called a priest, because they are people who are scammers, marauders, people who fake profiling and all whatnot. And it shows us the quality of lies that filters through our social media spaces.
Yeah.
It shows us the quality of rot and the quality of impersonation that happens within our priest system. So Priest.Africa is a place where people can come around. People who don't necessarily find it easy to go to a priest temple can go on the platform. It is titled Priest.Africa. Go on the platform, you meet with a priest, and you can, because whether you like it or not, people need to make informed decisions every day, business-wise, family-wise, in all ramifications. They need decisions that are based on divinely informed decisions. And they cannot afford, the decisions we make in our lives are very important. We cannot afford to make those decisions from a trial and error point of view.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why we created, myself and my partner, we created that platform.
That's
On
a
that
very
note, guys,
interesting
Thank you
one.
so much.
I just want to
Please,
say,
I'll be needing your number. There's someone that, don't worry.
You
we'll
won't
talk
make it
later.
crazy, Abi.
on that note,
I don't do all those ones.
But on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. And I just want to say, whatever it is that you have chosen, stick to it.
And do it well.
No, they do two-legged these bends
Yeah,
up and down.
do it well.
Stick to it. Do you understand? But thank you so much, our Pulse Hot Takers. And I hope you guys got some hot takers.
Are we not going to thank
from
our...
it. And
Thank you very much,
Thank you
sir.
so
for
much.
coming to debunk
A lot of
a lot of things
lies.
that
I
said
know
about
they live
you.
for Red House and Banana Plantation.
Then they stay
They
for
have apartment.
man.
Yeah, he's a
Friends,
selling
no,
apartment.
I have apartment in
Yes.
Lekki here that people pay for me. I stay anytime I want to come.
You have
and-
apartment in
Wow.
Lekki here?
So people pay
You
for
see?
I enjoy my life.
Exactly.
Wow,
He said he
wow.
enjoys his life as a priest.
I did used to do
Everywhere
pure.
good.
So I know they do all this one.
But thank you so much, guys. Love you all.
Bye.
Thank you.